I hear you. I was trying to sign in. I've got my daughter with me, so I didn't get a chance of writing on anything on mental health because we've been going out and having fun.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. No problem. But the time limit is only for 2 to 3 minutes each
Yeah, I
point.
heard you saying that. I'll look for something. Give me a second. I'm trying to sign in into the computer.
Welcome to the poetry reading with Fatal Blends. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Before proceeding to our regular thing up, we have the news and that we came up with, and that is very much saddening for us. One of our members, like Shalini Nandkaul's husband has passed away this Friday. So it is very depressing. His name is Ajit. He is a wonderful human being, a beautiful soul. And
You're talking about Shalini?
Yeah. And
who?
We would take a moment, 2 minutes of minutes to maintain silence to pay the and a departed soul a tribute. Thank you for that, and I'm sure our prayers are heard. And anyways, it is such a it feel remind a vacuum for this Shyamala ma'am and Shalini ma'am, and we talked about. So today, welcome to the poetry reading once again with Fatal Blends. This month we focused on, along with the open recital, we try to deliberate upon the issues that are bothering our lives. That's very much concerning with regard to our mental health, which is very much, essential for overall well-being of the humanity. Like one individual, apart keeping our what do you call physical health, keeping your mental health is very essential, very essential. And though we try to have things, but we are always remain concerned with somewhere the other. Each individual is affected. There are several ways of dealing with it. We have the self-care. Self-care, having taking time for yourself, understanding and meditating upon yourself, or having a walk, taking a book to read, or watching a movie, singing a song, or whatever you play a guitar, writing poetry, listening to the poetry. or having a word with your uh, with friends or any of anyone you are very close with, a family member, you should reach out to the one who cares about your feelings, who understands you, who has the patience to hear you, who has the time to spend to listen to you, and who gives enough time to spend a moment with you. That is very much essential. Yeah, the move, I mean, these kind of meetings that we are, kind of togetherness, like, and we are happy, we're doing this. This is all it's about mental health. We are coping up with so much of stress that we are daily dealing with many of the things. Nobody is escaped of this thing. So it varies from person to person, irrespective of ways. Everyone is some or the other way is affected. So we have common health disorder that I would like to take up on those things, like, we have depression, anxiety disorders, bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorder, post traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, eating disorders, borderline disorder, borderline personality disorder, and substance use disorder. And each one, if we go deep into it, like if you that includes depression, includes a character, a behavior of general anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, specific phobias that we someone associated with, like, which involve excess of worry, fear, and avoidance behaviors. And the depression is also includes the sadness, hopelessness, a loss of interest. And bipolar disorder, if you take, is marked by extreme mood swings and period of high energy or euphoria that very much of. Schizophrenia is a chronic and severe mental disorder characterized by distorted thinking, hallucination, delusions, and impaired social functioning. Obsessive uh, compulsive disorder is oftenly referred to as OCD. OCD, and many people there's take taunt of this thing, and with their naming them, and people with stamping them as involves intrusive thoughts, obsession, repetitive behavior, or mental acts performed to alleviate anxiety. Post-traumatic stress disorder develops after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event and involves symptoms such as flashbacks, nightmares, hypervigilance, and avoidance. And next comes attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder, which includes which is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by difficulty in paying attention, impulsivity, and hyperactivity. Eating disorders also include this includes anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, binge eating disorders, which involve unhealthy attitudes and behaviors related to food and body image. Borderline personality disorder characterized by unstable moods, relationship, self-image, and impulsive behaviors. Substance use disorders involving dependence on or abuse of drugs or alcohol, often occurring with mental health condition. These are all, these are the few, and segmentized in 10 divisions. They vary from individual to individual, that impacts this daily functioning and relationships and overall well-being. And you need to observe, and so the people around and those who are dealing with this will have to guide them or to seek a medical or psychological personnel who deals with the mental health and these things. for effective treatment and to cure this. You cannot say this disease or something, it's a condition, so you cannot put it as in the category of disease. So that is what this session is all about. This is an open recital, of course. We could read out your poems about mental health, that is not an issue, but especially if you could talk about, or if you have faced, or if you have encountered any of your known or unknown, or any of your neighbor or a personal thing, if you could come up with some solution or whatever you have, how you cope or try to cope up with, is a kind of a solution that we could help out in this, that the endeavor that we try to. This special focus would go entirely on this month, like the entire month, May. So, and the session also will try to put it in a very crisp manner, like not a regular recital, like 2 poems or nothing like that. So 1 poem and 2 minutes of your any of 2 minutes, if you could speak about mental health, if you could go ahead and speak about it, and or else you could present a poem, 1 poem on mental health or any other poem. That's it. So 2 minutes maximum period. So I'll be putting a timer and I'll be reminding you all. So that is it. And with that, we welcome our poets, our esteemed panel members who have a wonderful contribution in the literary world. Not only that, they're doing the significant social work. With that, I would like to call upon Dr. Gargi Shah to begin her reading.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, sir, for inviting me in this forum of poetry. Today is dedicated to mental health. So my first poem goes, Corridors of the Mind. In the corridors of my mind, there dwells the chambers of anxiety, phobia, skepticism, wrath, failure, melancholy, of the lost and the unfulfilled destinations, of the roads less traveled. In the corridors of my mind, there are chambers of egoism, eccentricism, enmity, who peeps its ugly heads mostly in times of utter necessity. In the corridors of my mind, there are those chambers of hostility, hatred, pitilessness, inequality, those that prevent me from being a true human. Let those chambers melt into nothingness, and may there be a new sunshine, whose dazzling rays, warmth, and brightness kill all those demonic forces that abides in man and woman, in the young and the old, ubiquitously, in the name of mankind. Thank you. That was the first one. Can I read a second one?
Yes. That is what I mentioned, ma'am. Only one.
Okay, the second one was published in this anthology of health.
Excuse me, ma'am. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. I announced that only 1 poem, 2 minutes, or speech. That is what. So my voice is not clear. How is my audio? And please let me know if anybody. Yeah, ma'am, 1 poem or 2 minutes of speech, whatever you prefer to. Thank you. Thank you, Chicken. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Dr. Gargi Shah with her beautiful recital. So next up is the Lieutenant Colonel Gopal Purdhani. Please welcome the veteran army personnel, Gopal Purdhani.
Namaskar, Prasanna ji. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Perfect, sir. Go ahead.
जैसे आपने एडवाइस किया कि मेंटल डिसऑर्डर के ऊपर बोलना है, और मुझे फर्दर एडवाइस किया गया है कि मैं एक सोल्जर के मेंटल डिसऑर्डर पर बात करूं, जो कि जंग से लौटा है, लड़ाई से लौटा है, मौत के मुंह से निकल के आया है, और जिसमें उसने दुश्मन को हराया है, उसके जमीन पर कब्जा किया है। ऐसा सोल्जर जो कि मैं खुद पर्सनली एक्सपीरियंस कर चुका हूं, ऐसा सोल्जर क्या फील करता है वो मैं बताना चाहता हूँ। कि जैसे ही 1965 की लड़ाई थी, वो कन्वेंशनल वार थी, उसमें कोई किसी किस्म के बहुत एडवांस जो अभी हमारे पास हथियार हैं, मिसाइल वगैरह, वो पहले नहीं थे, तब नहीं थे। तब हमने अपने पर्सनल हथियारों से, जैसे राइफल है, पिस्टल है, स्टेन गन है, उससे लड़ाई करी। दूसरी लड़ाई जीती 1965 की पाकिस्तान के साथ। और उस जीत के जब मैं वापस लौट रहा था, तब मेरी मेंटल हेल्थ क्या थी वो मैं बताना। प्रसन्ना जी, अर्ज करूं
जी सर, प्लीज।
कि जंग से लौटते हुए सैनिक की मानसिक दशा, जंग से लौटते हुए सैनिक की मानसिक दशा दूध में उठते हुए उफान जैसी है। दूध में उठते हुए उफान जैसी है। धरती आसमान पलट जाएं, धरती और आसमान पलट जाएं, सबसे भयंकर तूफान जैसी है। ये वैसी मेंटल हेल्थ। वो सोल्जर जो कि लड़ाई के मैदान में दुश्मन के खून की नदियां बहाता है और खुद भी दुश्मन के वार से को सहता हुआ उसकी धरती पर कब्जा करता है। जब वो लड़ाई खत्म होती है, उसके बाद जैसा कि 65 में भी हुआ, हमें बोला गया कि दुश्मन को हैंड ओवर करो, जो आपने जीता हुआ इलाका वापस आ जाए। उस वक्त उस इंसान को, जिसने के खून की नदियां बहा के वो उस इलाका जीता था, कब्जा किया था, उसको ऐसे आग लगती है जैसे कि पूरा जंगल जल रहा है। उसका अपना आप जलता है कि ये क्या है, मैंने इतना कुछ किया, इतने खून की नदियां बहाई, और अभी मुझे कहते हैं कि ये इलाका छोड़ो और आ जाओ। लेकिन हमें हुक्म मानना है, वो जरूरी है कि मानना है, क्योंकि देश के सबसे बड़े लेवल पर जो वो सोचते हैं वही हमें करते हैं। 1971 की लड़ाई में भी, जो कि दुनिया का एक बहुत बड़ा एग्जाम्पल बन गया, इतिहास बन गया, मोर देन 93,000 सोल्जर्स, प्रोफेशनल सोल्जर्स जो लड़ रहे थे, जिनके पास जहाज से, समुद्री जहाज से, टैंक से, गन थी, सब कुछ था, लेकिन वो हाथ जोड़ के खड़े हो गए कि आप हमें माफ कर दीजिए। और 93,000 सोल्जर थोड़े भी नहीं, जिनमें उनके जनरल सब थे। तो जब हमारे सोल्जर जो जीत के आए, हालांकि दोनों लड़ाइयां जीती हैं हमने, बहुत अच्छी तरह जीती, शानदार जीती, लेकिन जब वो मेंटल कंडीशन क्या थी उनकी, वो मैं जानता हूँ। क्यों? क्योंकि उसके बाद हमें, और खासकर जो हमारे आर्मी के ऐसे जवान थे, अफसर थे, जिन्होंने के जो एनालाइज कर सकते थे लड़ाई को, कि हम जीते हैं, किस तरह जीते हैं, और जीत के भी हमने वो पूरा का पूरा इलाका एक दूसरा नया देश बना दिया, अपना कोई कब्जा नहीं, कुछ नहीं, हम वापस आ गए। उसमें हमारे कितने जवान गए, कितने साथी गए, कितने दोस्त गए, कितने भाई गए, वो हम ही जानते हैं। जो दशा होती है, दशा का जवाब मुझे सिर्फ एक ही चीज में मिलता है। क्योंकि उस वक्त जो सोल्जर सोचता है, वो कहता है अब मैं घर जाऊंगा, गाँव में जाऊंगा, मेरे दोस्त मुझे गले मिलेंगे, मेरे भाई बहन माँ बाप सब मुझे गले मिलेंगे, मुझे शाबाश देंगे, मुझे आशीर्वाद देंगे। उस वक्त क्या दशा होती है उस सोल्जर की, कि क्या मैं इस आशीर्वाद के लिए लड़ा हूँ? हजारों सवाल आते हैं, करोड़ों सवाल आते हैं। उन सवालों का अगर देखा जाए तो मेरे ख्याल से एक ही जवाब है, और कुछ नहीं है। वो है कि देश की भलाई में जो भी बड़े कमांडर, नेता डिसाइड करते हैं, वो हमें मानना ही है। वो हमारे देश के भलाई के लिए। तो उसको हमने कैसे ओवरकम करना है, दो एक चौपाइयों में पेश करना चाहता हूँ कि सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन है जो सबसे बड़ी चीज है। सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन मतलब अपने आप में एनालाइज करके ये सोचना और फिर डिसाइड करना कि ये देश के भलाई के लिए है, जो अभी हो रहा है देश की भलाई के लिए, नहीं तो बहुत मुश्किल, बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल। तो करने के लिए हमें पूरा जो पीछे वाला समय है वो हमें भुलाना पड़ेगा और बहुत हल्का लेना पड़ेगा जिंदगी को। वो हल्का लेने के लिए मैंने कुछ पंक्तियां लिखी हैं, मैं आपको अर्ज करना चाहता हूँ कि
सर
कभी
वन
कभी
पंक्ति सर, वन
जी
वन
जी
एक काफी है सर, एक नेक्स्ट वीक
काफी है, 4 लाइनर है कि कभी कभी यूं ही तारों को गगन में मैं झांकने लगता हूँ। कभी कभी यूं ही तारों को गगन में मैं झांकने लगता हूँ, कभी पक्षियों को उड़ते हुए आंकने लगता हूँ। तेरी याद का जब बहुत दर्द सताता है, अपनी सोच की उड़ान को मैं ढांपने लगता हूँ। वो है सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, इसको बोलते हैं। ये सोचना कि जो भी हो रहा है वो ठीक हो रहा है, और हमारे से जो सीनियर हैं, देश के जो नेता हैं, वो जो भी सोच रहे हैं अपने देश की भलाई के लिए। नमस्कार।
Thank you, sir. So that was something deals with the post-traumatic stress disorder. When a veteran or army personnel, when they experience these flashbacks, the episodes of flashbacks, they had this personal when Rupali ma'am was sharing her experience. They saw dealt in the war. So it's something like that. So anyways, thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your experience and the thoughts that you concomitant with it. And thank you. Once again, my dear friends, please 2 to 3 minutes maximum. Either you give a speech, or I mean, you talk about the mental health, or you read out a poem. That's it. And thank you. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Dr. Lieutenant
Good
Gopal.
evening, Mr. Prasanna, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening and
ma'am.
good evening, everybody. Namaste.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank you. Please welcome. For the first time, he's joining as our opening open mic, and as a well-known poet and great performer, Mervyn Sayorite. I'm sure I pronounced him right. Yes, go ahead.
Blessings and salutations. I'm just going to give the one poem, but I'm going to just give a blips about what it's coming from and what's like surrounding it. Okay, so first the poem, Lingering in the Mind, 13. I shadowbox in the mud, dense haze, rain pouring, mimicking a waterfall with layered winded waves. I keep swinging, swashing away the irritation, skin crawling from the words around me I attempt to silence. Steadying my balance, unable to wipe away the mud, sweat, or drenched of drops holding on. I'm holding on. With each punch I pull, my head numbs, dark clouds corralling with shadows darkening the ground. Though a sight of light exists. This is from a series that I wrote last month called Traipsing Through Trauma, where I pull on to different traumatic events in my life and try to look at it from a more worldly standpoint. And each poem, no longer than 10 lines. Half of them, they're all titled Lingering in the Mind. The second half of them are titled Sunrising from the Mind. So the first half is setting in and feeling the trauma, where the second half, the other 25, finds a way to find that balance to exit from that trauma. So it's taking on that mental aspect of those things that have toiled with us, but how to find the balance, knowing that even how we move forward doesn't exist with leaving the darkness behind, but it's finding the balance between the darkness and the light within us that are part of us to move forward. And that's what this whole collection does together. It's still yet to be taken and published. I'm still going through people looking at it for edits before I push it for publication. But I feel it's one that's necessary in a time of now, where many times we don't face these things, because it's looking at, instead of worrying about somebody triggering you, how do you move through that instead of away from it? Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant piece, very remarkable, and thank you for coming up with that, such a beautiful piece. That's very relevant, very relevant. Please give a round of applause to Mervyn, and please welcome Dr. Shyamala Khanna. Dr. Shyamala Khanna. I'm afraid she is left. So let's move on to Dr. Rupali Sarkar Kaur. Please welcome Dr. Rupali Sarkar Kaur.
Good evening, Prasanna, and good evening, dear friends who are poets. Today, we are beginning a very special round this month, and thanks, Prasanna, because it's very important that we have this awareness, and especially during COVID and post-COVID, there has been even more, reasons for us to become very introverted, not social beings, and we have, been having all kinds of difficulties. Of course, the clinical difficulties have to be addressed, and that has to be addressed by families. We have to be very careful, keep a lookout to see that somebody is having these problems and not ignore it and think it's a character problem. If somebody is behaving badly with us, we must look out and try and get them help. Now, I have, when we were young, especially when I was growing up, one of the common sights around us were women, especially, women suffer from mental health and they're pushed out of the houses, and they're mostly homeless. It's women that you find a lot on the streets, carrying a bag, and, they've got matted hair. You find them sitting under a tree. And so this was a common sight in India as we grew up, with a lone woman under a large banyan tree whose physical state, torn sari, torn blouse, and itchy lice-filled head, a bag of torn rags, and a disheveled persona could be found in permanent residence under the tree, turned out of home and hearth and labeled mad because mental health is a stigma, a victim of naughty children and predatory men. So this is the story of Kannamma, the mad woman. And she would sit under a tree when I'd go to school, and we'd run past her, we'd be so afraid of her. The large shady burger tree, its hard, twisted tentacles hanging low, swinging free, Medusa-like, just outside the temple wall, where from dawn to dusk the devout buy flower garlands at the makeshift stall. The mud-hard baked platform around it, where once sat blind musicians whose eyes who did not see, but now sleepless. Kannamma, the mad woman, waits all day. Her beloved left her, and she let grief take her mind away. Those who bring incense and coconut for the stone god with the elephant head say, his fingers had run through her long black tresses, sometimes touching her breast, stopping her breath, his dark skin shining like Krishna. They had lain supine in the tingling sands of the river Yamuna. Her matted hair crawled full of lice, the itchy fingers throwing pebbles at nibbling mice, the scattered puffed rice offerings at the altar of an indifferent god. Kannamma is waiting, he's not coming. He has found a pretty girl whose skin is fair, with golden hair, boo, 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 shoo, shoo, shoo. Children would run after her. Mothers chase the jeering kids. Don't be bad. She's mad. Can't you see she's raving mad? Her wild, waiting eyes, her cracked, mumbling lips, her scratched, bleeding skin, her sunken, hungry belly, her torn sari and blouse, her hair full of louse, her home without a house, a mind nobody could rouse. Will Krishna never come? Will Radha wait forever? The sun has dried up the river, the anklets lie broken and scattered. The temple bells are ringing, come, come, let's bathe with milk and honey and dress in satin our marble god. So we are very busy, anointing our gods who are made of marble and stone and gold. But around us, there are people whose minds are completely breaking. And you see these homeless people all over. There are now a lot of work that is being done by the government and by non-profit organizations, which take in these people who have become homeless, who are ill, mentally ill, and they're trying to rehabilitate them. So if any of us see this, we need to bring a lot of compassion to mental health problems. I hope in the whole month that we are working, many of us will be reading more poems, will be more prepared to speak. Thank you so much, Prasanna. This is a great awareness moment for me also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. That was lovely. And yes, minds are becoming closed. I mean, like closed minds need to open up and look the world around and have this compassion. The feeling of compassion is very much needed. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Dr. Rupali Sicar Gaur. Please welcome Dr. Archana Bendre. Ma'am, please unmute your mic. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
This is everywhere mental health is the problem that is being discussed in everywhere, field, everywhere. Here also we are talking about the mental health and all also. So now my poem is not what is going on, anything on mental health. It is a challenge I am talking about to depression. Depression is also one of the problems. So I am challenging depression. So my poem is, "Oh depression, you dare not come hither. You target, weakling, wrecking their lives, stealing their peace. They are longing for bliss. They fight with all their might with you. Some succumb to suicide. For their fears they can't hide. Dejected at their failure in studies, in life. Some face poverty, some have excess. They know not how to value, how to rise. But to tackle you, I know how. To tackle you, I know how. Be close to nature. The dawn, the morning mist, the birds chatter, the quail's cooing enhances subdued mood. The children's laughter brings back the life in you. Be social, be helpful to needy ones, spending time with your loved ones, near and dear ones. There are many ways, many reasons to live, for life is precious. All these gems are to fight with you, depression. All these gems are to fight with you, depression. So you dare not come hither." That is.
Thank you, ma'am. That was lovely and contribution to this depression. Yes, spend with your loved ones. That's a catch of the your poem. Spend with your loved ones and deal with the depression.
Yes. I wanted to write in a different way. So how to fight depression? So this is where we are challenging depression. Now what I mean to say, I'm talking to depression. So you dare not come here. How we can fight with you?
Yes, exactly. We need to fight. And that is something great. And yes, resilience. resilience. That was Archana Bendre with her poem. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Up next, Ronnie Tucker.
Okay, this is not kind of about, but you could add maybe isolation in it. But I'm gonna go ahead that way I could get this done quick, and then you could get on with the other people here. Star Rider's the name of it, and it goes. Colors explode as mind and space collide, in confusion sources awaken. Transform in moments, illusion advances in notions. Transparent and elusive dreams. Follow the star watcher as his gaze is fixed to the tranquility of space. Sound out to the galleons of the transitions of time and space. Back and forth, the universe is a liquid ocean of pure ethereal splendor. Starlight illuminating the pathways. Moon glider awakens the cosmic self as the sun rider takes flight in the distant night, merging as one with the distortion, contemplating the knowledge of universal man. Soul watcher all seeing in his tower as his essence awaits his return. Parallels his sights to behold. He moves fast as his ship sails on and on. Seeker of destiny, a true believer. The stars open to his destination, as so many images surround his wondering eyes, so many to contain in his view. In the rhythms and all the glory, expanding and expanding his horizons. One speck in the sea of eternal existence, no illusion, for they are real. In the songs of the planets, all is heard, all is nurtured. Clearly, all is to behold in the movements. Fly past on the way to eternity, realms beyond all meaning, for it's all in an everlasting circle, chasing the knowledge born out of reason in this ever-changing of cosmic season. He is one with the universe. He is one with the systems. He is one with the stars. He is one with eternity. He is one with space and time. Thank you, Dr. Prater.
He is one with everything. Thank you. Thank you, Ronnie. That was Ronnie, which is beautiful poem. Up next, Acharya. Acharya, what you have for us? Where is Acharya? Acharya has gone? Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I will say that, mental health includes our emotional or psychological or social well-being, including our spiritual well-being. And the great Nancy Roper, writer and nursing advocate, described 12 activities of daily living, which are essential to all beings, really. And she was highly acclaimed, except for the last one. She included dying as number 12. And some people felt, well, that wasn't necessary. But of course, we're dying every day. We cross the road, we look left, we look right. We're walking in the darkness, we turn around. The idea of survival, the instinct of wanting to stay alive, is so important to human beings. And Nancy Roper was quite right in looking at with it that sense of awareness, because once our awareness disappears, then the world means nothing to us. This thing is only meaningful as long as we're alive. So dying is included. Now, there are various traumas that impact on our health. And I've got the first one I call it unrequited love. By nature, we want to love, we want to be loved, and people tell us nice things, and we love to hear nice things. According to the psychologist Maslow, who I wouldn't go into, but when we don't hear nice things or nice things are suddenly taken away from us, we go through a lack of self-esteem and a lack of self-actualization needs. And this in it turns leads to suicidal ideations because we become depressed. We feel low and we feel sad about ourselves. We begin to doubt ourselves, you know. And so we have this idea among Black people of saying, oh, you're gods, you're goddesses, you're empires, and you're kings and you're dignitaries, you know, trying to uplift the soul, because if people are left to themselves, they think the worst of themselves. And we constantly need this feeding, whether it's on social media, what do you call it, Instagram or Facebook, people to tell us nice things about ourselves. So trauma comes in so many various forms. And Dr. Gopal spoke about the soldier part of it. This is another form of trauma where you go through wars and you see so many bad stuff and horrible things being done, and you come back from the war and 10 years later you're still suffering this post-traumatic syndromes, and you become so depressed you can't cope because you recognize that the horrors of human nature and the demons that exist within humans. There is, of course, parental trauma where the children go through a cycle and they themselves, when they become mothers, repeat the cycle as not Nancy Roma, but what's her name? There's another famous woman who wrote the drama, Alice Miller, the drama of being a child, whereby the child grows up. And just as she experiences it, she teaches her own child that same kind of thing. And the cycle repeats itself. And then there's abuse, which is emotional, physical, mental, social, and financial. And that comes a lot in the house. And, you know, abuse takes so many forms and we suffer from it. And again, it brings in suicidal ideation, lack of self-esteem. Let me say all these things ultimately are interwoven. We can't really separate them because one thing leads to another. And so they marry themselves and create problems for us, and we end up in hospitals with endogenous depression or active depression or some form of bipolar problems. Bullying, where the strong is taking advantage of the weak, particularly in schools, young age in school, can lead to that situation, you know. You can also get that from police brutality. They have the power because they have the baton, they have the law behind them, they have the guns, like in America, and that can you know, polarize a situation or create triggers for people, particularly in the minority community, and make life worse. Homelessness, as the good Dr. Rupali has stressed on, and joblessness. You suddenly find yourself no money, you don't have a job, you don't have a home. So Maslow's basic hierarchy is immediately taken away from you. That is to say, health, warmth, food, comfort, self-esteem needs. You know, suddenly you're homeless and you're there on a cold winter night in the street, and depression kicks in. Substance abuse, I saw so much of that in psychiatry, the cocaine, the hash, the excessive marijuana, which people love to talk about so much. And they lead to all these problems which affect this, what I initially talked about, this state of social, the state of emotional, the state of psychological and spiritual well-being. We in the mystical world look at what we call the 5 cardinal voices. Everything has a cause, everything has an effect, everything has an action and a reaction. So you can call it karma if you like. And so ego, vanity, or pride is one of the initial culprits. We say let's replace that with humility. We say let's replace anger with empathy and love. We say let's replace greed with sharing and soulful giving and self-giving and savor. You know, we say let's replace the attachments by seeing everything as coming from the divine. Nothing belongs to us. Sadhguru is famous for saying that we came with nothing, and we would live, when we leave this world, we would live with nothing. But humans don't think that way. We want to cling, like the Buddha says. We want to grab. There's a conscious or unconscious holding on. And it leads to clinging and grabbing, and greed itself springs from this clinging. We want more and we want more. And of course, Yuyati says that desire breeds desire. There's no end to desire. You know, that's what King Yuyati had to find out himself, you know. Attachments. again is the same thing like bondage, clinging, whether it's self-indulgence in the world of food, self-indulgence in the world of lust, self-indulgence in the world of having our fast cars, a Mercedes, a Rolls Royce, so self-indulgence in terms of stigma and status. All those things create problems in themselves. They might seem pleasurable, but pleasure is duality is always part of the law. If we're going to have pleasure, we're going to have pain. If we're going to have joy, we're going to have sorrow. We can't live without light and darkness. As long as we have light, we're going to have darkness. If we have mountains, we're going to have valleys. If we have peaks, we're going to have troughs. And the whole of life is like that. So what is needed is a kind of psychological awareness or understanding of a way to live in terms of faith and spirituality, which in itself reduces the problem. You know, put a bad child in a monastery for 3 or 6 months and the child comes out different, you know, and put a child in a Montezuma school, which is geared for prayer in the morning and assertive affirmations and with these things constantly throughout their lives. And they grow up, research is showing that they grow up to be different. So we're exposed to things like in everyday life, like desire and greed and vanity and all those things, spending billions in makeup and facial designs and what have you. And we're creating more problems for ourselves. So while I'm mentioning all these traumas and suicidal ideations and bullying and the various triggers like substances which affect us, I'm also saying that the mystic, that the answer is to look deep into ourselves and try to process the whole thing like the seers ask us to do through a prayerful life, a life of meditation, a life of service to humanity. And that's why I tend not to write about the bad things. I try to write about the inspirational things to lift humans. Because if we're constantly looking at Gaza and constantly doing poems and breaking down with tears, we're also not helping ourselves because the external things are creating the trauma for us when internally we're not strong enough. That is why Christ said to the revolutionaries, no, I haven't come for that. That is not my purpose. It is all about love and self-giving and compassion. And this is what the seers teach us when they come. So my standpoint is to transform our lives by looking within, be the change we want to see, which in itself improves our mental health and leads to when whatever vibration you give affects the universe. So if you're churning out a positive vibration, you're going to affect your mother, your peers, society in general. If you're turning, the demons are not in Gaza and Ukraine. The demons are in the microcosm. The demons are in man. So Gaza ends tomorrow, 5 years from now, and the problem springs up again in another form because we ourselves haven't changed as humans. And this is all I wanted to say, really. Yeah.
I'm afraid I have to cut you in the middle because since you have exceeded at a given time. But anyways, that was something need to deliberate upon, and looking within and dealing ourselves is a vicious cycle of things. Very much. I mean, like understanding, a deep understanding of oneself is very much necessary, like
Indeed.
you mentioned. Thank you, Acharya. That was long, but yes, thank you. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Remember, you got 3 minutes, either a poem or a speech. 3 minutes, one single poem. That's it. Please welcome Saraswati Poswal.
Good morning, good evening, namaskar, sat sri akal, adab, salam, K. Kumar ji, entire team, Fertile Veins, all the poets. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity. Today is the very serious topic we are going to discuss about on the mental health, I know. For that, I would not give much summary. I'll just recite 2 poems of mine for the health issues only.
Only one.
Yeah, only one will go. Okay. I'll go with one, my Hindi poem. So hope you like it now. It will be taking only 2 minutes. सेहत और दिमाग सेहत और दिमाग को लेकर सजग हो जाओ सेहत और दिमाग को लेकर सजग हो जाओ इसको अपने जीवन का लक्ष्य बनाओ सेहत और दिमाग को लेकर सजग हो जाओ इसको अपने जीवन का लक्ष्य बनाओ कुछ बाहर जा बिल्कुल ना खाओ, कुछ बाहर जाकर बिल्कुल ना खाओ, अच्छा भोजन घर पर ही बनाओ, अच्छा भोजन घर पर ही बनाओ, कुछ संतुलित आहार बनाओ, कुछ संतुलित आहार बनाओ, दिमाग को भी अपने भोजन कराओ, दिमाग को भी अपने भोजन कराओ, अच्छे विचारों का जूस पिलाओ, अच्छे विचारों का इसे जूस पिलाओ, सकारात्मकता का प्रोटीन खिलाओ, सकारात्मकता का इसे प्रोटीन खिलाओ, जो भी खुशी दे दिल से और दिमाग को, जो भी चीज दे दिल से खुशी और दिमाग को, वैसे वैसे संकल्प उठाओ, जो भी चीज दे खुशी दिल और दिमाग को, वैसे वैसे संकल्प उठाओ, कभी कुछ करो दिमाग की खातिर, कभी कुछ करो दिमाग की खातिर, कभी कुछ कविता सुनो, कभी कुछ सुनाओ, कभी कुछ करो दिमाग की खातिर, कभी कुछ कविता सुनो, कभी कुछ कविता सुनाओ, फर्टाइल ब्रेन्स की मीटिंग में आकर, फर्टाइल ब्रेन्स की मीटिंग में आकर देश विदेश की कविताओं को सुनो, देश विदेश की कविताओं को सुनो, अपने तुम न्यूट्रिशन बढ़ाओ, अपने तुम न्यूट्रिशन बढ़ाओ, सीख से अपने तुम न्यूट्रिशन बढ़ाओ, सीख से ही सबकी बीमारियां हैं, सीख से ही सबकी बीमारियां हैं, अपनी सोच को अच्छी तुम खुराक खिलाओ, सोच से तुम इसको अच्छी तुम खुराक खिलाओ, कभी सैर पर जाओ, कभी तुम सैर पर जाओ, कभी मेडिटेशन करो, कभी सैर पर जाओ, कभी मेडिटेशन करो, कुछ और नहीं कर सकते तो किसी की मदद ही सड़क पर निकल जाओ, कुछ और नहीं कर सकते तो किसी की मदद को सड़क पर ही निकल जाओ, किसी को सड़क पार कराओ, किसी को सड़क पार कराओ, किसी बच्चे संग खेलो, उसे टॉफी दिलाओ, किसी बच्चे संग खेलो, उसे टॉफी दिलाओ, कभी बच्चा भी बन जाओ, कभी बच्चा भी बन जाओ, किसी बुजुर्ग से के संग बात करो, किसी बुजुर्ग के संग बात करो, अपनत्व से बतियाओ, किसी बुजुर्ग संग बात करो, अपनत्व से बतियाओ, रोना धोना लगा ही रहेगा, रोना धोना लगा ही रहेगा, जीवन के सफर में रोना धोना लगा ही रहेगा, जीवन के सफर में सब दुखों को भूल, सब दुखों को भूल, आत्मा बनकर सोचो, आत्मा बनकर सोचो, अपनेपन से, अपनेपन से, दृढ़ संकल्प से दुनिया को, अपनेपन से दृढ़ संकल्प से दुनिया को साक्ष साक्ष दिलाओ, राहे शांति पर, राहे शांति पर पूरे विश्व में, राहे शांति पर पूरे विश्व में रोज ही यह परचम लहराओ, सेहत को लेकर सजग हो जाओ, सेहत को लेकर सजग हो जाओ, व्यर्थ तुम अपना समय न गवाओ, व्यर्थ तुम अपना समय न गवाओ. This was my Hindi poem. One small, if I can, it is also written on the mental health
No,
only.
no. Next
No?
meeting.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
The catch
Thank
of the
you.
your poem is Vicharon ka juice pilao. Very nice
Yeah.
line. Very nice.
Fertile brains पे आओ, कविता सुनो और सुनाओ from the different countries.
Thank you.
Thank
Please
you.
give a round
Thank you
of
so
applause.
much.
That was very nice. Please welcome first time joining us our recital maybe this thing. Vasudha Kartic. Vasudha Kartic.
Hello, good
Welcome.
evening to
Welcome.
everyone. Thank you, Prasanna ji, for having me here. I'm a practicing psychotherapist. I've been in the world of mental health for more than 25 years. And I've been in the world of poetry too. I have taken it upon myself to talk about different forms of mental psychological disorders. That's what I focus on when I write my poetry. So this is what I've been doing, and I'm very happy that you've taken this very important topic, Prasanna ji, to have for us, because as much as the more we talk about mental health, I think it is so important today. And I've been in various volunteer organizations all my life. I'm a Rotarian, and right now I am the National Committee member for Addiction Prevention. And Our job is to educate people. So I just use this small means of writing poetry to even talk about mental health wherever I could. So today, I would like to just talk about something which is actually a very commonly occurring, or I would say mimicking kind of a thing that's going on, which is the bipolar disorder. And bipolar disorder, in a strange way, is how life has become for most, and especially for youngsters, wherein the entire week is a high. From Monday, entire week is a low because they're working, and come weekend, they're like different beings, and they are so high. At that time, a lot of things go on in their minds, and they do many things which sometimes feels as if they have no awareness of. And that's what we see in our clinical practice. As a clinician, we see this very often. It's affecting couples, it's affecting many young people. And that's why this is one of my published poems, but I would just like to read about this. So again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's called the cyclothymics world. This is cyclothymic. I've used it primarily because the temperament keeps changing in cycles. So what happens is like this. This is one part of the mood. It's a mood disorder. Bipolar is a mood disorder. So standing atop a mountain, I survey the insignificant beings somewhere below. The energy in me is bubbling, waiting for the ways in which to spend. Resonance, a resource is not a problem. Ideas are pouring. My vessel is definitely big enough to gather, to give them a shape. I need none. It's just me who is more than the most together. I cannot wait to jump from a merry-go-round to the Ferris wheel of another adventure. Things around start changing. I feel the change. Why does one wake up every day? The dreariness of the day weighs me down, further into the abysmal dungeon called life. Sleep eludes, yet I somnambulate in the day. The distress in me urges me to put an end to the never-ending disappointments that somehow seem bound to me. They say I'm a cyclothymic who needs help. I am waiting. So this is just to talk about the extreme polar moods that occur. The one that is extremely high, where they feel omnipotent, they feel they don't need anyone, and they spend recklessly. Many times people have sold their properties without the families knowing about it. Of course, bipolar also is one of the things which gives rise to addictions. So this is one of the things that leads to substance abuse a lot. And then when the high is gone, they do feel as if they are in a dungeon. And that's the low, that's the depression part. So there's this huge high part and there's this huge low part. And it's so difficult because really the family is baffled. They don't understand these people. Friends are baffled. They say, why is this person like this? Oh, last week this one was okay. What happened now? So we're dealing with something which is so difficult. Obviously, the person going through really is not aware that these drastic changes are going on within them. And that's the reason it is a disorder. And yes, to increase awareness, because yes, if we understand this, probably we'll recognize them in our families, in our neighbors, our friends, in a community. We'll be able to understand that maybe somebody needs help rather than to say, oh my God, what a nuisance is this person. So this is my small attempt, and I do sincerely thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Such an enlightening, words and your talk and, about this extremes of this bipolar disorder that you mentioned about. It's such an honor having you around with us and on this occasion, and that's really speaks about. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you for joining, and please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Dr. Vasuprada Kartic. Vasuprada Kartic. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Please welcome first time as joining Hiranya Godavarthy. Hiranya Godavarthy.
Good evening, esteemed poet. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share my thoughts and my poetry here with you today. I'm also a counselor and psychotherapist. So obviously mental health is very, very close to my heart, and my professional work as well. And today I'll be sharing a poem called The Fish That Couldn't See. And this poem describes the plight that is ignored because there isn't anything physical that is seen. And that has a lot to do with how mental health is. We can't really see what's going on. There are no visible scars. There's nothing visible physically. So it's very difficult to really recognize how much a person can be suffering, whether they could be having heavy emotional burdens, they could be having, a mental illness or a disorder, so to speak. Or they could be having distress maybe because of life circumstances, whether it's grief, it could be abuse, it could be disease, it could be substance abuse, it could be addiction. All of these are very silent. And this is something that appears normal. So no one can really see the distress that's going on. And I hope that this poem, it shows how much I'm saying, let us call for compassion. Let's try to bring deeper meaning and let us understand each other, even if you're not able to see what someone is going through. So I will begin now. The Fish That Couldn't See. With bright eyes always wide open, it's impossible to believe that there existed, looking so normal, the fish that couldn't see. It had 2 eyes perfectly set and a pearl glossy cover to each, but nothing could be processed by the fish that couldn't see. When that fish was lost and silently screamed and haphazardly swam against the stream for attention, thought the school that didn't believe the fish that couldn't see. For attention, thought the fish that didn't believe this fish that couldn't see. This brave fish is great, surviving each day. Many hidden battles are dismissed just because it looks like the others. Many hidden battles are dismissed just because it looks like the others. The fish that couldn't see. Remember that those with hearts hurt or minds frozen in grief, disease, or abuse, beneath their pearly, perfect, glossy eyes, could be a fish that couldn't see. And with love and compassion can be found deep meaning, then evolution that can give special sight to the fish that couldn't see. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Wow, such a brilliant expression, ma'am. How could one decipher, or how could one decipher what's going on within oneself? And to see, it needs an extensive kind of awareness to individual to India. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, how could that again is itself is a question, how we give an awareness of psychological things that's happening to with someone who is dealing with many of issues. But the poem that you mentioned about is brilliant. I mean, yeah, how could a fish brilliant? Wow. Brilliant. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Dr. Hiranya Godavarthy, who is joined us for the first time. Such an honor having you, ma'am, on this occasion again. Thank you, really. Thank you. I mean, remarkable. Please welcome Jaya Kalyanaraman, who is going to speak about that. Please.
Good evening, everybody. When I was growing up, the word mental illness was not a word we used. Mental health was like skeletons in the cupboard, which people didn't want to talk about. Fortunately, today there is so much more awareness that family systems can function in a healthy way. My poem is from a very personal experience, and revisiting this phase in my life has been cathartic and maybe to some extent even therapeutic. The swing. I was just a young mother when life threw some spanners that temporarily clogged the wheels of my life. I didn't know how to handle it, but I knew it wasn't my fault. When she broke down and cried so loud, I didn't even know what was the cause. A few years later, I was told that she would come to live with me. I was afraid and so alone, and I feared her for reasons not known. It was another matter that she got married. I heaved a sigh of relief and thanked my stars, for I had no skills to handle her at all. She was in later years diagnosed with bipolar, a disorder that is associated with mood swings, depressive to maniac highs. It was scary, to say the least. While I may have escaped the exposure to such intense behavior, her family of husband, daughter, and son didn't always remember that kid gloves is what they needed to wear to handle her. They say that bipolar is hereditary, passed on from a parent to a child. I pray that the cycle of inheritance would cease to be a generational thing. I was still young when my brother-in-law visited. Neither my natural warmth, my humor, nor my culinary skills could solicit any response from him. He just sat there poker-faced, and I wondered if all was well with him. A few years later, he knocked at our door, standing all alone, having left his wife and children behind, seeking refuge in our home. His behavior even more strange, something we couldn't comprehend. We put him through the medical tests. Schizophrenia, they said. It wasn't easy, but we measured up to the challenge. No 2 days were the same. My mother-in-law bore the brunt with sweat and tears and fears. With grit and determination, she carried on. It was all of 34 years from 1977, when in 2011, he breathed his last. I think his mother heaved a sigh of relief so she could someday go in peace and not burden her other children with the task. She outlived him by another 8 years. She was 93 when she passed on. By then, she'd forgotten all about the life and the death of her son. Thank you. Sorry Sorry. Yeah.
Anybody could react on this. Such was the pain that endured.
Yes, through your beautiful poem, you have expressed a lot of things that go on in our homes, and the difficulty with which the family has to cope with it, the life that the family has to go through. And we talk about compassion, we talk about spirituality, but it's very, very tough to put up with, mental health disorder. I'm glad that today there are more medical help available. There are places where these people who are suffering can be actually stay and be taken care of. And our hearts go out to you and your ability to share with us this very painful time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We don't have words to console you up and comfort you, but yes, please go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jaya ma'am. It is indeed the most difficult challenge for the caretakers as a family. And in fact, as much as we work with the person going through a disorder, it's actually the family that requires the most help in terms of the anxieties that develop, the depression that develop, and also in a lot of ways, the family also sort of self-isolates. You stop doing many things that you would have done otherwise, and it becomes extremely exhausting. Soul exhaustion takes place, wherein you stop doing many things. And this constant fear, the constant anxiety, the constant lows. And yes, as you said, as a mother, maybe, whatever that your mother-in-law went through, and you, as a sister-in-law, you have seen what has been going on, and you have empathized with your mother-in-law so much that this is still within you. And that's the reason so much, more support family members who empathize require. And I'm very happy that you have the courage to speak and to share. Thank you very much.
I just want to say one thing. We actually all lived under one roof.
Yes.
So it wasn't easy.
Yes.
It happened a long time ago, but writing remembering all this was very cathartic. And I think sharing it with all of you is also hopefully therapeutic. It happened a long, long time, but still, it's there.
Yes.
Deep down. Yeah. Thank you.
I agree with the Dr. Vasu ma'am, that whatever you said is like it requires a lot of courage and the spirit to come up with and to deal with and to come up and show publicly as thing. And thank you, ma'am, on that note, and thank you for coming and cheer yourself up. Please welcome Narinder Jit Kaur. Miss Narinder Jit Kaur.
Thank you, Prasannaji, for giving me this chance to. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for having me here today, and I'm very fortunate to participate in an issue which is very pertinent, and most of the people are suffering with mental health at different ages, different stages of their life, and in one way or the other. And what I want to talk about today is about the mental health problems that the youngsters they face, because they are at the cusp of their life. They suddenly find that the world has turned upside down. And teaching in a college for more than 3 decades, I have met many students who had been going through very lean periods in their lives. And so my poem is a very simple, I scribbled it today. So let me give the poem. When empty walls stare me in my face, when the dark ceiling threatens to swallow me up, when all my dreams slip through my fingers like a handful of dust, when people's expectations and my potential are always at loggerheads, when the rosy hues of a propitious future turn into dark spots floating in the diseased eyes, when the word constantly carps at my failures, bemoans my fate, and commiserates with my sire for having such a wastrel as his progeny. When cynical smirks and scowls pull me down with a nagging guilt, maiming forever my mind, body, and soul. When all words, all books, and all wisdom fail to stir the sagging spirits, when life seems to fight a losing battle and death seems the ultimate solution, then a voice within chirps like the unseen quail cooing in the mango grove, chiding me for this despair. Why this defeatism? You still have it in you. Nobody can help you out but you, yourself. Get up and be strong. Lift yourself out of this muddle. Don't let this desolation crush your young, bright spirit. And today, here I am, all set to face once again the vicissitudes of life, to take the bull by its horns, a new me with new energies, new resolve, and with my self-confidence intact. So this is the poem, but I want to say one thing, that the inner voice that I have mentioned here, actually this voice should come from the parents, the peers, and the people around the youngsters, because the people need to play a very inclusive and participatory role to bring the youngsters out of the situation that they find themselves in. So this is a very common and very dangerous, issue that is ailing our society, because we have seen that every day we find that youngsters, they commit suicide or they take to drugs and all. So the society has to play a very a positive role in that. So this is my point. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, ma'am. Yes, proactive role is very much needed. Like you said, yes, involvement, the people's involvement, the peers' involvement, very much needed. Thank you, ma'am. That's a well put advice. That was Narinder Jit Kaur, ma'am, and please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Meena Chauhan.
Good evening, Prasanna and all my poets. आज का टॉपिक बहुत ही बढ़िया और बहुत नेचुरल है, और मेरे ख्याल से तो हम सब में कोई ना कोई डिप्रेशन, छोटा बड़ा है, 100%. एवरीबडी सफरिंग समथिंग, एंजाइटी, डिप्रेशन. सो बट वी हैंडल, हम अपने को हैंडल कर लेते. जो हैंडल नहीं कर पाते उनके लिए हमें कुछ करना होता है, स्पेशली फैमिली करे, फ्रेंड्स करें, तरह तरह की एंजाइटी. लेकिन आज मेरे पास इतना बोलने को नहीं है. जो कर्नल गोपाल ने जो कहा सैनिकों का, जब वो सैनिक वापस आते हैं और उनकी जो एक डिप्रेशन होता है और एक नाइटमेयर होती है, उसको भी झेलना पड़ता है फैमिली को। लेकिन मैंने ये जो कविता लिखी है, ये मैंने पहले लिखी थी, इस टॉपिक पे नहीं लिखा था, बट आई थिंक ये जाएगा जो कर्नल साहब ने बोला। मेरे वीर सैनिक, वीर सैनिक, हे भारत माँ के वीर सैनिक, हे भारत माँ के वीर सैनिक, अब भारत माँ के सपूत हो। चाहे देश के किसी भी कोने पर आप तैनात हो, आपसे आपसे ही है देश की शान। हे भारत माँ के वीर सैनिक, आप भारत माँ के सपूत हो। हे भारत माँ के वीर सैनिक, आपसे सही देश की सुरक्षा, देश सुरक्षा में आप डटे रहते हो। सर्दी गर्मी बारिश तूफान रहते तुम हरदम डटे हुए। लड़ते आप दुश्मनों के वारों से, लड़ते आप दुश्मनों के वारों से, अपनी पीड़ा को सहते हो। हे भारत माँ के वीर सैनिक, घर की यादें तुम्हें नहीं हिला सकी, घर की यादें तुम्हें ना हिला सकी, माँ बाप भाई बहन की यादों ने भी तुम्हें नहीं हिला सकी। हम सोते चैन की नींद, तुम सीमा पे जागते हो। हे भारत माँ के वीर जवान, देखकर तुम्हारी हिम्मत मुश्किलें भी डर जाती हैं, देखकर तुम्हारी हिम्मत मुश्किलें भी डर जाती हैं। आने वाले हर संकट को के आगे चट्टान बन के खड़े रहते हो। आने वाले हर संकट के आगे चट्टान बन के खड़े रहते हो। हे भारत माँ के वीर जवान, आप भारत माँ के सपूत हो। हर सैनिक को जान से ज्यादा अपने वतन के से प्यार है। हर सैनिक को जान से ज्यादा अपने वतन से प्यार है। देश के आन के खातिर हरदम मिटने को तैयार हो। देश के खातिर हरदम मिटने को तैयार हो। हे भारत माँ के वीर सैनिक, आप भारत माँ के सपूत हो। जो हमारा अभिमान है, जो हमारा अभिमान है, वो मेरे देश के जवान है। जो हमारा अभिमान है, वो मेरे देश के जवान है, वो मेरे देश के सैनिक है। हे भारत माँ के वीर जवान, आप भारत माँ के सपूत हो। छोटी सी कविता तो मैंने ऐसी लिखी थी पढ़ने के लिए, बट वी कैन पसिफाई, हम अपने जवानों को इस तरह से मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं, जो हमारे सैनिक अभी भी जो हैं तैनात हैं, उनके लिए मेरे को लगता है कि काफी सुटेबल।
Thank you. Thank you. That was a beautiful, nice to Jawans. Thank you. Thank you. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Meena Chauhan. Please welcome Miss Satinder Kaur.
Thank you. Thank you, Prasanna ji, and good evening to you and everyone here. And sorry, I could not write a poem on mental health, but may I recite something else? Okay, thank you. It is about the lost love. Oh, my winsome, youthful love, my wait for you has traversed a vast time and space. My wait for you has traversed a vast time and space, but I don't know in which unseen world you have sought your peace. In which unseen world you have sought your peace. My mind, my heart have been forever yours. My mind, my heart have been forever yours, trying to feel your presence even in the smallest particle of the universe. Sure, you have not forgotten that lovely leisure when we, in each other's arms, rested in pleasure. My name on your strong arm, artistically tattooed. My name on your strong arm, artistically tattooed, made me trust you even against those who opposed. It seems like centuries when we have been together. It seems like centuries when we have been together. I was so fascinated by your bright form and inner character. You never stepped back whenever it was a call of duty. You never stepped back whenever it was a call of duty. My feelings of love emboldened with your every adorable gesture. Your precious gifts, a wink of love, a gentle pat, a warm kiss planted on my lips, the exuberant bracelets and vivacious earrings, the brilliant outfits to match with necklaces, still make me sigh in my solitude. Still make me sigh in my solitude. You, an ardent traveler, loved adventures. You, an ardent traveler, loved adventures. From north to south, from east to west, you embraced me along for every small step. You embraced me along for every small step. Venice and Spain, Rome and Naples, you loved to relish the last drop of pleasure. Our savory breakfasts, our scrumptious dinners, sometimes at home and at others in restaurants. You liked my puri chana, halwa and idli, always soaked in my love and loyalty. Always soaked in my love and loyalty. Oh, my darling, my wait for you, though unrewarded, can never shake my faith in your goodness and God's justice. Can never shake my faith in your goodness and God's justice. I'll search for you. I'll search for you across time and space. My loyalty for you will never decline. In some other world, at some other time, we will together relive those precious moments sublime. In some other world, at some other time, we will together relive those precious moments sublime. Thank you.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Thank you for coming up with such a beautiful poem and a very positive one. Then friends, let me remind you, please do observe the time, and you got one poem to read, and yes, 3 minutes maximum.
Sorry, I could not write. Actually, I was busy somewhere else, but I wanted to participate also. So I am sorry for that. I could not relate to the theme
No,
which you
it's
had
okay.
given.
That's it. It's a month-long thing. So thank you
I
for
think I
joining.
can, I'll say a few words to you that, well, you may not have addressed the problem of mental health, but love in our lives, which we have talked about, is very important. It helps us to survive. It helps us to go through life because we have had love or because we have. And love is also the cause of mental breakdown.
Yeah.
You know, with young people, these days there's a lot of cyber love going on, and suddenly people disappear, and there's somebody pretending to be something. So your poem is very relevant, so don't worry. Thank you so much.
That is what I think, that it is the determination of the beloved that at some time in some other world she will be able to find something which she has lost. So she may be in agony, mental pain, but then there is some positivity that whatever is lost at some time she will gain back. So maybe positivity also, it is related to the mental health, that this is something, this is a remedy for those who are fighting against mental health, that they should be uh, injected with all this positivity so that they can come out of this anguish.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. It's very relevant, and like you said, it's very important factor. So thank you for coming up. It's such a beautiful poem. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends, and please welcome Aklima Ankhi. She joined us after a long gap. Please welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Kumar Prashannaji and Rupali ma'am and others genius persons are present here. Today, we have got a wonderful topics, taking care of your mental health. I think that it is an important topic to discuss. There are so many elements around us to make depressed, to make bipolar disorder, and so many mental health problems. For taking care of our mental health, I think we need first mental peace, love, affection, caring. All these spiritual helps make our relationship good with others, where we get our peace of mind. So I'm so much lucky to present here, and I hear all the discussions. So I'm lucky. And now I'm reading my poem. My poem name is Peace of Mind. Peace of mind is contained then of soul, a gentle celebration of momently. Here brain stream on the lap of quiet hill, beacon of fresh water and crops, sunshine in our flower garden, star of the dark or moon of the window, keeping in touch of heart is an auspicious light. Existence, burnt, ignite, ingle is in daily goods price, dawn of insecure justice, missing and killing, evil power of a fool, tambour of false words, suppressed crying, subdued day-night burns, fresh smell of gunpowder in the stranger wind, red blood in the sea water make me cry. Howbeit, fading flare of love, searching a peace light of mind restlessly. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rupali ma'am.
Beautiful, ma'am. Beautiful, beautiful. It is very nice poem that you come with, and thank you for joining. That was Aklima Ankhi from Bangladesh. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Please welcome Michael, my dear Anthony Ingram.
Hello, everyone. I bring you greetings from Washington, D.C. I'm a retired professor of counseling, so this topic is close to my heart. I also host Quintessential Listening Poetry Online Radio and YouTube. And every year, because May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, I host programs. And I'm going to say this now. I'd like to host a podcast on mental health from an international perspective. So if anyone has an interest in that, my information is in the chat. Well, it is now. My information is in the chat, and we can talk about it. Because this is such an important topic. Being someone who lives with mental illness in terms of depression and anxiety, I know what it feels like. So my poem is based on the color blue. Blue often symbolizes happiness. The sky is blue. But darker blue can also feel sadness and depression. And I'm looking at life from the darker blue. This is called It's a Crime to Feel So Blue. Here we go. Here we go. It's a crime to feel so blue. Although I like to feel blue as a color in a pool. I thought we came to be exact. One that glides gracefully across the page with certainty and purpose. Yet today there is no care. just the color blue. And the blue stain alone doesn't glide so easily. They're jagged edges and crevasses that hide years of despair. It's so trying to feel so blue. Although I like the hue of blue as a color of a suit, double-breasted, if you will, fleet, secure, strong. But I'm not wearing a suit today, just the color blue. And on me, blue alone, there's a lot of feel as well. And it weighs me down like an elevator carrying low. It's so fine to feel so blue. Although I like the hue of blue in the summertime as a backdrop for the sky. Then just the splendid colors highlight the white plus of cotton that's feather the rice. It is wintertime, and the cerulean skies have gone, and what remains is just the color blue. Now a melancholy shade that does nothing but remind me of the severity of my discontent. It's so fine to feel so. If you're my judge, either convict me or set me free. Thank you.
Wow. I got blue. Thank you, Michael.
I apologize for my voice. I don't know what's happening. I mean, maybe I've got a cold. I don't know what it is, but I apologize. I apologize. So if anyone has an interest in wanting to explore poetry on a podcast from an international perspective in terms of mental health awareness, I'd love to do it. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. That was Michael with his powerful rendition, powerful expression. Please give a round of yeah. Please welcome Sreedharan Parokode. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
At the hospital premises. One is at the hospital premises. They would come after their play on compulsion. The play is not as the other people do. They would come after their play on compulsion. The play is not as the other people do. Special attention is given to each one in the ground. Special attention is given to each one in the ground. Though some may laugh, some brooding over, some are seen desperate. Some may laugh, some brooding over, some are seen desperate. Some of them play as if nothing had happened when the teacher in charge called. They would not properly eaten or wash their mouth after food. Seeing this, I said to myself, we should see their smile perfect. We should see their smile perfect, their activities well, because they are our family members. They are our family members and must stay with us. And they must stay with us. Don't find fault with them. Don't find fault with them or blame, please. Don't find fault with them or blame, please. They are ours. They are ours. These mentally disabled persons are ours, our family members. When I had my experiences to go some of the hospitals and some other places to interact with them, and when we sing, they join us, and they are in a special mood and a creative mode. And I cannot say for that these people are due to certain problems, some of the occasions compel them to be so. And so we must have our courage, our love, our compassionate love towards them, and we must give our hands to them and to take for them, to uplift them, and we must have
our people. They are our people. We can embrace them. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was really, yes, they are our people and we must embrace them. We must embrace them, we must understand them, we must feel them. And yes, we try to know them and try to defy them. Thank you. That was Sreedharan Parokode with his, version of on mental health. Please welcome Swarna Sungara.
Hi, everyone. So I deal with depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder on a daily basis. So this poem is based on my personal experience. Prasanna was asking, like, what do we do for mental health? And I write poetry, I take deep breaths, and I also talk to myself kindly. Those three things I do when I'm feeling a certain way. So I'm doing the second half of a poem because it's too long. So to fit into the 2 minutes, I'm doing the second half. This is called A Renaissance of Self-Love. Emotions swirl inside me, threatening to engulf me if I pay more attention to them than I already do. So being the rebel that I am, I tune into them, which feels to my heart like I'm blasting them on a loudspeaker. I take a deep dive into my garbled mess of emotions and swim in the murky waters of depression. Why does this exist inside me? This absolute sewage of blarg that just makes no sense. As I'm doing this, my anxiety shoots up like a bamboo plant. My body seems to think I'm actually drowning in some way. That's just fantastic. So I tune into my anxiety instead. But my depression arrives once again, this time as a huge wave threatening to engulf me into its grip. I refuse to succumb to this madness. I take deep breaths, in and out, in and out, in and out. Then I focus on slowing my heartbeat until I can think clearly. I notice my depression checking the time and asking me how long it's going to be. So I turn back to the dirty waters and wade through. Suddenly, a tsunami of dark muddiness starts building. No, I cannot do this. I think it's too much. I'll drown. But soothing self-talk helps. It's not real. They are just emotions. You will be okay. They only appear dangerous to you because you have come to believe that they are going to end you. But you cannot be ended. You are immortal. I breathe some more and some more. I take my surfboard and I ride the waves of gloom. Today will not be the day of doom. I can talk myself out of insanity for eternity if that's what it takes to climb out of this black abyss and into the warm embrace of my unshakable spirit.
Like the lion, refuse to succumb to the madness. And yes, like you said, deep taking the deep breaths in and out, in and out, and in and out. And yes, positive spirit. That is what fighting is all about yourself and to come out of the situation and dealing with mental health and dealing with cannot think whatever it is. So that was powerful. Swarna, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Swarna. And please welcome Debashrita Basu.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to everyone. I'm Debashrita Basu, West Bengal, India. So I'm going straight to the theme. My theme is today depression. My today's theme is depression, and the title is The Struggle Within Me. The struggle within me was continuing, even after they called me a mad woman, cursed me with various evil names. I fought hard against the mental trauma daily that drove me towards hopelessness. Tears fell down persistently, broken me into pieces. When my love blamed me irresistibly, conflicts after conflict made me crazy, till I rushed back home in tears. My ooze knew no bounds. I curled like a snail in my room. The agony beat my heart loudly. A cloud of pain surrounded me stubbornly. I didn't surrender at all. Though I wailed loudly, kept clinging to my zeal. The zeal to clear my conscience of sadness. The zeal to take revenge on my love. My ship got stuck in the storm of false, tricky love. Now I am triumphant for winning over it. Black days have escaped. Yes, I was once the victim of depression, but the courage was instilled within me by my parents. Now I am free, free like a fearless bird. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
You're a fearless bird, undoubtedly, and yes, and you must appreciate the fact that your parents have understood you and you
Yes,
have
yes, sir.
embraced you like Sreedharan said.
I had gone, yes, I had gone through this depression, sir. And I'm now just like a fearless bird. Yes, sir. I've overcome it.
So fighting with the demons and you come out
Yes.
well.
Still fighting, sir. Still fighting. Yes. Sir.
Everybody is fighting, like Meena ma'am said, no matter in whatever form the dish sounds to be, but yes, everyone is suffering with something or some mental you cannot put disorder, but there's some issues, and yes, that is good that you never surrender is what thing. Thank you, Deba ma'am and Debashrita ma'am. That was Debashrita.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Isabell wants to say something, and please welcome Isabell VanMerlin.
Thank you. Thank you, Kumar. I appreciate this. I've had a lot of experience myself with mental health issues in my family. And I believe that we are all born into this world as having perfect health in every way, spiritually, mentally, everything else. But our parents and everyone around us, we live in a physical human world that's full of fear, and this fear is passed on to us by our parents who would love to help us, I'm sure, but are usually not able to do that because they're dealing with their own issues of mental health. But so I'd like to write a poem that I wrote quite a while ago, and it's about my mother who, well, she had her problems, but it affected me from childhood, from very early. And it's called Libras. My mother was a Libra. I'm a Libra too. She was an early Libra. I am late. I still don't like to think about how we were born under the same sign. How could we be so different? Or am I just being blind? But she was my mother, and so pretty much controlled my fate. I fought her tooth and nail several times, almost landing in jail. Always feeling alone, knowing there'd be no bail. Until that glorious day when I ran away from home. The baggage I took with me, though, has often slowed me down, bit by bit discarded as I've moved from town to town. But memory still serves me well, and even though she's late, here's a list of things I came to hate. Her talking on the phone, always arriving late, making me do the weeding, always talking on the phone. washing dishes, doing laundry, talking on the phone, visiting her friends, always talking, calling me her baby, never listening, holding still for a snapshot, having to wait for her to get off the phone so she could say no to something I wanted to do, till she couldn't think of a reason, then a grudging yes. Riding the clutch, her brand of charm, pretending to be helpless when I knew she was being lazy, being dumb like a fox, questioning ethnicity, always talking, selective hearing, worrying about having enough, the phone, always talking. And here is a much shorter list of things I love about my mother. 2 pillowcases, cloth napkins, candles and real silver, love of words, staying in touch, truth about sex, writing thank you notes, writing in my baby book, being a snob, intellectual curiosity, cool, dry hands on a feverish forehead. Will these lists ever even out? Will we ever find balance between us on this seesaw of life? She's got a jump start on me, living in the ethers, while I slog around in this earth suit. It does feel more like balance the older I get. And one more thing she always said, I share the self-same trait. So let me tell her take on Nixon for the sake of comic good. He hasn't done anything he said he would. So I'm sorry. My mother, another thing good that my mother did and believed in, she was very much interested in nutrition, in the food we eat. One of my aunts had seriously an allergy to gluten in wheat. And when she ate wheat, it made her very paranoid. So I have come to find for myself that black-eyed peas are a wonderful natural drug for mental balance, chemical mental balance. So I should write another poem about black-eyed peas. So I leave you with that. Maybe the next theme will be on black-eyed peas. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, Isabel. That was profound, and I appreciate the fact that you
Prasanna, may I say a few words here?
Yeah, please.
Yes, Isabel, that was a wonderful poem, and I think that today quite a few of us have read about our personal, our personal traumas that we have gone through, and I think that poetry is very cathartic. You know, as Jaya said, that even writing it. So I think we should thank Prasanna today for bringing about this very special program, because as we write, and I think during COVID, we all wrote much more, but we've been writing. A lot of people here will know that, I'm very, very keen that we should all write, because we can put out our thoughts, put it across, whether personally or on behalf of somebody. But as long as we write and we somehow come face to face, and there is a resolution. Somewhere we resolve, somewhere we understand. As we go through the process of writing, we ourselves sublimate. And so thank you so much, all of you who have shared your personal stories, who have talked of compassion, of giving it to the people, of visiting people, of being patient, very patient. It's very, very difficult. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those comments. And I really believe that expressing through poetry or whatever your medium is very important to maintaining some kind of balance for mental health. So Thank you. Thank you very much. You're muted, Kumar.
Sorry. I remember the message that you have sent, and you mentioned about the gluten that is present in the wheat and how it. And yes, you should write a poem on it. But yes, next, like always. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you. I appreciate your joining, and please welcome Dr. Janata Ramanathan.
Good evening, all my quiet friends. It's long back. I think more than 2.5 months I have been not with fertile brains, and that I felt too. I missed you all a lot, and I was not able to come. That is, I missed a lot of things: happiness, togetherness, poetry, the happiness which poetry gives. Give all this I missed, and I'm so happy that I was able to rejoin you all. And I did not write any poem on mental health, but still I thought that I have written a poem on creeping age. That's what we all are. I mean, the people, those who are above 40, we are all experiencing. So I thought that I'll read a poem that also comes under mental health. Creeping age, old age started creeping into the body. A record of my whole life. Silver lines glitter amidst my black hair. Years in my service register fall off. Restless and staggering mind reminds me of the ailing Tithonus. Becoming old suffocates. Has spring bid farewell? Is autumn going to caress me? The dancing daffodils and the waving lavenders hopefully tune the body to the reality. My mind plays hide and seek, paces in search of some elixir to hold my body from aging. I sway between the poles of aging with a drapery of emotions, woven with much care and love. With every wrinkle, a tale of life's trail, a landscape of fortitude adorned with grit, in fading strength, a deepened sense of grace, each moment finding the joy of solace and space. In the embrace of old age, richness of spirit transcends the binds. Let us face the creeping years with grace and embrace the beauty of the age's gentle hold. Thank you.
Excellent, ma'am. Taking the edge, enjoy as the breeze comes in.
Yeah, that's what doing now. Celebrating aging. That's what.
Celebrate your age, celebrate, become mature as you grow with wisdom.
Yes.
So that was Dr. Janata Ramanathan. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends.
Thank
Please
you.
welcome.
Thank you, dear friends. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please welcome the wonderful couple, a lovely couple, I would say. I love to have them always. Dr. Kangalakshmi Patnaik and Shyama Prasad Patnaik.
A pleasant evening to one and all present here. A pleasant evening to one and all present here. I am Gangalakshmi Patnaik, Odisha, India. Delighted to wish you a happy Sunday. As you are observing Mental Health Awareness Month in May, it's a time to provide support, increase awareness, and remind people to support millions of people impacted by mental health issues. Many mental disorders can begin in childhood. Examples include anxiety disorders, attention deficit, depression, other mood disorders, eating disorders, etc. Maintain always eye contact with the children so that it will help to build a strong relationship with the parents and guardians. Now I would recite a poem on mental health. The title of my micro poem is Mental Health Issue with Children. Mental Health Issue with Children. The poem runs like this. Watching stars in star drift sky, I am left with no other choice but will back to my child, for I fathom darkness in his eyes. Watching stars in star drift sky, I am left with no other choice but will back to my child, for I fathom darkness in his eyes, wherein he sleeps like image with no ascent or descent, hides pollens of dreams. Depression blanks his mind in lonesome moments, wherein he sleeps like image with no ascent or descent, hides pollens of dreams. Depression blanks his mind in lonesome moments. Loneliness a song that he sings to measure his being, tried how to come out of shell he is trapped in, living. Loneliness a song that he sings to measure his being, tried how to come out of shell he is trapped in, living. I called my family's talk, how things go better, seeking psychological assistance. I called my family's talk, how things go better, seeking psychological assistance. Keep touch with children. Healthy mind, body, spirit start with healthy diet. Please keep touch with children. Healthy mind, body, spirit start with healthy diet. Encourage with talking therapy. Help to do aerobic exercises. Seek a psychiatrist. Encourage with talking therapy. Help to do aerobic exercises. Seek a psychiatrist. This is the end of my recitation. Thanks, dear poet friends and poet K. Kumar Prasannaji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please welcome, please give a round of applause, my dear friends, and please welcome Syama Prasad Patnaik.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Prasanna ji and the entire team of Fertile Brains for organizing such a burning topic. So today, my topic is about depression. I have written this poem for one of my friend who was caught by depression after death of his elder brother. His elder brother committed suicide, so he got depression. I have written this poem for him. The title of my poem is "The Depression Should Not Overcome You." Just I'm asking my friend, and don't be carried away by depression. So here it goes. Oh, my dear friend, I know you are stuck in a whirlpool of anxiety, filled with negative waves of depression. You are far away from realms of emotions. Everyone is concerned about you, although you are unable to vent your inner feelings. Don't presume that no one thinks about your well-being, passionate emotions, and perceptions. Don't think you are left alone in deep slumbers without anyone's support or kindness. Never feel helpless in this situation. You yourself only can come out of trepidation. Utilize pristine seashores, lakeside floral gardens as nurturing, curing, and caring destinations. Walk briskly in parks, inhale abundant oxygen and blossom fragrance. Enjoy friends' company, doing fruitful conversation. Spend quality time with family and friends. Sit and recline under cool shades of green shrubs. Enjoy nature's splendor, moonlit, soothing breeze, rainbow, rain, flora and fauna to rejuvenate your brain. Listen to melodious music, exercise, and meditate. Enjoy mellifluous tunes of cuckoo and chirping of avians. Never stay alone. Keep yourself busy with your favorite activities. Engage and stay connected with your loved ones. Let you shouldn't be overcome by depression. Gather mental strength. Rise up with confidence. You are sure to emerge victorious. And that is the end of my poem. Actually, in fact, it is an appeal to all the persons who have been struggling with depression. Thank you all for listening and watching.
Thank you, sir. Stay connected and be positive, and this will give the quality of time. Wonderful, sir. Stay connected with beautiful people around. Thank you for joining. That was Mr. Syama Prasad Patnaik. My dear friends, please give a round of applause and please welcome Miss Sabita Sahu.
Namaskar. Good evening to all. And this poem is from my personal experience. I have seen my father during his old age, and he passed away at the age of 84. And what was the mental condition? And I have seen mental trauma, what they are going through. And many old age vridhashram I have been to. So what is the condition of mental condition of the people there, whether man or woman? So a sense of insecurity, so that you find in them. So the best example, the best thing you can give is love, love, and love. That is the best medicine, I think. And here goes my poem dedicated to all the young oldies. That is second childhood. The title of my poem is Second Childhood. Strange is the story of life. Strange is the story of life. Begins with a patter, begins with the prattle, ends with the babble. As people grow from green to yellow, limbs crack and wither. Memory plays truant. They know not what they do. They take solitary walk with their maker to relieve memories, lean on the raw and green for reassurance of their identity. The tumult mind fails to defend what has been. Hope and joy, like enemies, betray when their power to scream decays. Are they specimens for pity and sympathy? No. When our need for them is past their prime, their need for us begins. They lean on us to straighten their backs. Let's stretch forward to hold them with love, care, and patience. That's the language they understand to crown their memories. That's the language they understand to crown their memories. Thank you very much, Prasanna sir. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much.
The leaners to straighten their back, and that's a cast line to your poem, ma'am. Indeed, indeed. And we must understand, and it's not a burden, but they are children of ours. When you grow up, parents become children of ours. So that is, so
Exactly.
everybody should
I lost my
understand.
father. I lost my father at 84. Now my father-in-law is 89. And when he gets a little bit depression or mentally low, whole family, we are disturbed. We are worried. And as a whole unit, we work together to keep him busy. We'd ask him to do some mental exercise and all these things. And that keeps our family strong and lovelier.
Exactly, ma'am. That's the unity of the, that's the strength of the family. When you take care of elders, and it in turn gives us much of inner strength. That is what I
They are
believe.
the precious gifts ever given to us by God. They are the precious gifts. We should
Precious
preserve them, and we should.
Exactly.
They are the pillars.
Pillars. Indeed, ma'am. Thank you for reminding us and with your this. Thank you. That was Sabita, ma'am. Sabita Sahu. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. And please welcome Bijo Prince, otherwise known as Isaac Cohen. Isaac Cohen has joined us for the law. I mean, after a long gap, maybe. Yeah. Isaac, you got one to do. Yes, one poem. One minute.
Dear Kumar, oh yeah, wait a minute. Dear Kumar, dear Dr. Upali, dear friends, tonight we commemorate the Holocaust. We hope the world will not go crazy. Lt.Col, a leaf of peace. A leaf of peace fell on the jewels of my daughter. God, please keep it safe all my life and ours, so that life will be nice and happy. Please, thank you, and we hope the peace will come soon and all the life will be good. Thank you.
You will be good,
Thank you, my
Isaac,
friend.
and peace will shine again. Thank you. Thank you. That was Isaac. Please give a round of applause, my dear friends. Isaac Cohen. So, please welcome Millie Das. Millie Das. Please unmute your mic, ma'am. Millie Das. Okay, please welcome Renukuntla Murali. Renukuntla Murali.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Please,
I'm available, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, sorry, sir. Sorry, I've been after since last 2 months to some personal and election duty, sir. I'm waiting for this opportunity. Sir, my title of the poem Adventure. This is one of the poems written by me, completed a book, rhythmic tales, sir. Adventure. Adventure is not only exciting, but also bold and risky undertakes in general. Adventure is not only hanging off the rope on the side of the mountain, but also it's an attitude that everyone must apply to the day-to-day life aspects of one's life. Adventure is not only solving ourselves, but also express and provide. Adventure not only makes us learning, innovation, but also unknown things. Adventure is not only action and excitement, but also courageous, protagonist with dark moods, taking risks for innovation. Adventure depends not only upon one's day, but also one's zeal and succeed. And adventurer never think of the future, An adventurer never think of the future. A hooker crook winning is their goal. Adventure including mountain, this is the end of the poems. Thank you, sir. Hello?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Couldn't hear you, but no, though there is a voice issue from your side. There may be this bandwidth of your internet is very low, maybe. But yes, we loved your poem, and I talked about the adventure. Thank you, thank you for joining, and please give a round of applause, my dear friends. That was Renikuntla Morally.
So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up is Millie Das. Millie, ma'am, if you are there, please turn on your mic and video off. Millie. Yes, please go ahead. Please unmute your mic.
Yes. But is there anything else?
Millie Das, please, it's you, ma'am. Please unmute your mic and yes, go ahead with your poem.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening to all of you. Now I am going through my poem. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Hello,
Yes,
Prashannaji,
yes, yes.
am I
Yes,
audible? Okay.
yes.
The name of my poem is Mother, the Name of Endless Love. My Divine Mother, you are the greatest warrior in the world. You are incomparable to anything in this world. I lost you. I can't explain how I am feeling now without you. Now I can understand. Nothing is like mother. I'm turning 11 years without you. Like you, no one cares me. To all the people who lost their mother, remember that no one can ever take her place in this life. She never wants you to be sad. Mother, I miss your unconditional love, which gives me strength. I can see you. You are here by my side. You are only one who can sacrifice her entire life for her family. You used to tell me I am strong enough to take on the challenges in my life. Now I can realize I was not prepared myself for the days ahead. Life after you. I am the kid who has lost her light in her life, lost her guide, and the best one throughout her journey. I've lost the smell of your body. I've lost the smell of a mother. I found out why I am crying. Every night you come to my dreams, but I can't catch you. Till now I can't describe the fear of feeling losing my mom. I feel your absence. I miss you each moment. When everyone leaves me, I miss you, Mom. The best ever soul. This is my promise to God. In the next birth, I will become your daughter. Thank you so much.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Beautiful. Thank you for joining, ma'am. That was Millie Das, a beautiful poem on mother, tribute, you could say. And then there is no replacement at all. That brings us to the end of the show. Before going, I think I could just read out a witty one. Witty one. I don't know if it goes with the theme or not, but yes. Floating boat of smiles is where I'm seated in waves of uncertainties moving up and down. With the boat, I'm sailing in, crossing the pain and feeling the fun floating on and shining. Like a postcard, I become the way to many. Seated in the boat of smiles, I showed the path of destiny. I floated on the boat of smiles, spread the hope across. No class nor the mass could miss the chance of making their lives better. I ride on boat of smiles, putting no face, but only chuckling and grinning, feeling the life along. My dear, move ahead with cheering and charging on boat of smiling. That's the end of the piece. Thank you. Thank you for making it today, my dear friends, and we'll see you next week. I think it's more of your, take on mental health and discuss. uh, Thank you.
Yes,
And
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Prasanna.
Prasanna, from
Really,
all
Thank
of
you
us.
so much.
and my
Prasanna sir,
special
Rupali ma'am, namaste
Thank you so much,
and
Prasanna sir.
namaste to everyone.
Thank you,
Namaskar.
Prasanna.
thank
thank
you.
you,
Good night,
Prasanna.
And
everyone.
let me
Very
take
nice.
moment of thanking especially to Marvin, Hiranya, Hiranya ma'am, and Dr. Uh, Dr. New Dr. ma'am. So Vasudha ma'am. So especially joined us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.